Ladies and gentlemen, happy Wednesday, May 26th. If you came here to see the blood red supermoon and the partial lunar eclipse, well, that happened between 3 and 6 a.m. this earlier morning. I'm glad I learned it because I watched it then. Something much more exciting is here now. Thank you for being here. As you know, some of the finest musicians in the world are here tonight. Jeff Coffin all the way from Nashville. Oh my goodness, what a fine chap. Yeah, you're right. Man. Jeff, did you ever play in Denton last week like you thought?
I was in Denton last week. Yeah.
Okay, so this is not Jeff's first gig since the world ended, but it's kind of like Jeff's first gig. It's certainly Jeff's first gig in New Orleans since the world ended, so cheers to that. He and Helen are celebrating the release of a spectacular new CD called Let It Shine, as I'm sure most of you know. That's wonderful. We had these two play twice at the Sidebar, which were very special evenings that, in a sense, germinated that recording, only in a sense. Anyway, oh my goodness, 3/4 of Astral Project is behind the stage. There's great food, there's great beer, and I forgot to mention, there's also merch, and this gig is partly a memorial and a fundraiser in the memory of the great Tim Green. Please give a whistle if you love Tim Green. Half of the merch proceeds from the new CD are going to WRBH, Radio for the Blind, which was one of Tim's greatest passions and community service endeavors. Tim Green loved this town and loved this world, and he loved a lot of things, and he was very active, and that was one thing he loved very much. So these two fine musicians came up with the idea to do a little something in his memory and his honor, because we all miss him. And so tonight's a chance to support him and to think about him like we all do. So anyway, we got Johnny V and Toni Degradi and James in the back, and until then, it's Helen, Gillet, and Jeff Coffin.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here. What a gorgeous night in New Orleans, right? Amazing. So we've got a bunch of music to play for you, and we're going to jump into it. This first tune is a tune called "The Sun Never Says," which is based on the lyrics or the poem by Hafiz, and so we hope you like it. And we're going to go from that one, segue that one into a tune called "The Sandman," and as you'll hear, Helen does a lot of looping over here as well, and you may have some questions after the gig about what she's doing. I certainly will, but it's pretty amazing what she's able to do with the cello, and so I've got a whole assortment of instruments over here also that I'll be playing. So anyways, we hope you enjoy the music. We're very much looking forward to playing for you. This is called "The Sun Never Says." That timing was perfect. We said, okay, right at the end of the first tune, do a little flyover just as we end the tune. Man, perfect. I love it when a plan comes together. So this next tune, The Sandman, I'm going to be playing this beautiful bass flute, and it's a lovely sounding instrument, and it's a bit unusual. Who's the one we borrowed this one from?
Jana Saslaw.
Jana Saslaw.
Doctor
Jana Saslaw. Is she here? Is she here?
Where are you at, Jana? She's not. May not be here.
Okay, I guess I can keep it. Just tell you it wasn't here, and we don't know what happened to it. But anyway, I forgot my. It's like suddenly I'm traveling again and forgetting stuff, of course, because I'm my bags have been unpacked for 14 months, and so I'm sort of constantly. I forgot socks when I went to Texas. I got there and I'm like looking for my socks. I'm like, uh-oh. So apparently they make socks in Texas. I was able to find some, and I was very happy about that. And but Jenna was kind enough to let me borrow her bass flute, which of course I forgot in Nashville. So here we go in The Sandman. A little verb on this also?
Yeah, Jeff needs some reverb on that bass flute. And I would like to also say that Jana Walsh, wonderful flute player, she wanted me to remind everybody, who remembers Hart McNee? Yes. So this is the same bass flute as Hart McNee used. So there's a Hart McNee connection here as well. So that's for you guys.
Oh, the termites. Oh yeah, who invited the termites?
Just our luck.
Anybody?
They get in for free, man.
They
Freeloaders.
don't- well, luckily all my reeds are covered, so they're not going to know that. Don't tell them that it made out of wood.
James and I are really in
Fine.
good space.
Yeah, you and James are screwed.
Sandman indeed. You look like the Sandman with all those
Yeah, I know.
termites flying around, man. Holy shit.
Man, I'm just glad Pinocchio ain't here. Thank you for the two of you that got that. He's made of wood.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. Welcome to New Orleans, Jeff. Everyone's out.
Love
Excited.
it.
Everyone's excited. You're here.
So,
Everyone's really,
yeah.
Everyone's
Even the
really
bugs are
that
excited
Jeff
tonight.
is here. Termites are like, woo! Jeff's here.
So this next tune we're going to do is a tune of Helen's, and this one's entitled Unzen. And
truly how I
you want to talk a little bit about this one? I can hardly see you over there. You're
I'm here.
in a cloud of locusts
right
or
here.
whatever it is.
So just follow the silhouette that is breaking the cloud of termites, and that's me.
Okay.
This tune is called Unzen. It's actually named after a mountain, a volcano, called Unzen, and it's inspired by Charles Mingus, who had a stint on the cello. So that's all I got to say about that, really. And I'm very happy to be here as well. And thank you all for being here and celebrating our project together. Woo!
your back and shirt yet?
Oh, I'm sure I do.
That's when you really made it in New Orleans, when you played a gig
Yeah.
with a termite.
Termite in your back.
I feel like you can't claim to be a New Orleans musician until you've played a gig with termites crawling up your back. Jeff is paying his dues. Just FYI, in case you're worried, the termites don't like varnish that is on these instruments, so I know it looks really worrisome. For any of you anxiety attack, like anybody having panic attack right now about the wooden instruments,
Oh, yeah.
they don't like the varnish, so I've heard.
They're kind of part of the show at this point.
It's our special effects.
Ordered them special.
Okay, so this next tune is a tune called Sometimes Springtime. I get to play the bass clarinet on this one, which is really fun for me. This is a tune that Helen ended up putting some vocals on this on the recording, and it's really beautiful. If you haven't heard her sing before, it's extraordinary, and you'll get to hear that on this tune actually. If her boat doesn't sail away here. But this is a tune that I had written for another recording I had done, which was called Sometimes Springtime. And this is the title track off of that. And we kind of morphed it a little bit to get her to sing on this. So we hope you like it. This is called Sometimes Springtime.
You want to play a C?
pourtant au printemps, je retrouve mes larmes. Pourtant au printemps, je retrouve mes mots. Pourtant au printemps, c'est le moment d'écrire.
Thank you.
I think there's slightly fewer termites racing. Second wing, speaking of. Oh my God.
So you're probably wondering why we have CDs.
So are we.
since nobody has a CD player anymore. But some people do, and some people actually prefer them. And for, strangely enough, for radio, for promotion, radio, and all that kind of stuff, we actually have to send out a certain amount of CDs. So we thought, okay, we'll get a certain amount of CDs made up. Had some beautiful artwork done, and we recorded everything in my studio in Nashville, and Helen came up for the mix. This guy named Dave Cinco mixed it, and he works with Yo-Yo Ma and Edgar Meyer and Chris Thiele, and so he really knows string instruments, and he's worked with Bela Fleck for a long time also. So when I was with the Flecktones, he also was familiar with, woodwinds and that kind of thing. So he kind of had his hands full with us, with all the different sounds on the record. And but we did sign all the CDs that are here tonight. So we're hoping that might, give you a little incentive to pick something up. And it's for a great cause. Again, half of that money will go to the radio station for the blind. And what are the call numbers again? WRBH, 88.3 FM. And that was near and dear to Tim Green's heart. And so we're happy to donate half the money from the merchandise sales tonight to that, with hopes that it would help. And yeah, you can applaud that, sure. Absolutely. So this next tune is another tune of mine called Second Wings. And I got to tell you this story because my wife is here. And she actually named this tune. And I can't remember what we were going to be. We were going to be watching the Charles Lloyd film actually that night. So Helen was up recording, and we decided we were going to watch a Charles Lloyd documentary. Charles Lloyd is a brilliant saxophonist, and so Leoka was kind of tired, and so we said, okay, well, maybe we'll watch it, or maybe we'll do it the next night. And a few minutes later, she says, she comes up and she says, I got my second wings, I'm good. And I said, what do you mean your second wing? She says, I feel better now. I said, oh, you mean your second wind? And she's like, So I thought it was so cute. I was like, second wings, I like that even better. So this one's called Second Wings, and we hope you like it. So this next tune is called "Do You Still?" And Helen, I'd love it if you would talk about this a little bit. This is the only tune on the record that wasn't written by either of us, and so maybe Helen can talk about that. And after this tune, we're going to bring Johnny up, and then we're going to start kind of bringing some other folks. It's going to, well, you'll see.
So many of you already know that I'm from Belgium because I only mention it every single gig. But I am from Belgium, and I'm classically trained originally, and my first forays into jazz started by hearing Chicago musicians. I went to the Velvet Lounge in Chicago and heard a whole bunch of players. I didn't hear any cello players though, but I wanted to improvise, but I couldn't find any cellists there. They were there, I just didn't know where to find them yet because I was really young and I didn't know what I was doing. And but I was looking for them. I found them in collections at the Chicago Jazz Mart. You know, Abdul Waldoud and Eric Friedlander and all them sort of got in my ears. And then I went to the New Directions Cello Society Festival, which is the nerdiest and most beautiful festival you could ever go to. It's a whole bunch of cellists who have decided to let their hair down and have some fun. And it's super fun. So I met a whole bunch of great players. The lead singer of Rasputina, great goth cello trio, was there, and then Eric Friedlander was there teaching pizzicato workshops, and then this hilarious Dutch man was playing the cello sideways and doing all these antics and walking around the room, playing standing up, and his music was absolutely beautiful, and I loved the sense of humor, which I then discovered was the ICP orchestra sense of humor in the Amsterdam giant jazz orchestra. And I thought, well, because I'm from Belgium, maybe this is a type of jazz that I really relate to. And lo and behold, I really did. I got to be in a cello quartet coached by this guy, Ernst Reisiger. And this song came out of that experience. And he, after 20 years, I contacted him and said, can I record this song? And he was thrilled. So someday we'll get Ernst Reisiger to come to New Orleans and play. Yeah. There's no story. That's all I got. Do you need any bass flute check?
No, I think I'm good. Get it all figured out here. What's that? All right.
Thank you for doing that justice.
All right. Well, for this next one, what do you say we bring up the legend, the one and only Johnny Vidacovich? Where is he? Where is he? Bring him on up here. There he is. Johnny V, give it up, y'all. Man, what a thrill to get to play music with this man, with all these folks. And Johnny's just something, well, you know. I'm not telling you nothing you don't know, but I just like to acknowledge it. So this next tune is called Lampsey. And here we go. If you're counting, it's not in 4/4. And hey, Johnny, stay up. And what about James Singleton? Is there a bass player in the house? Give it up for the great James Singleton on bass. This was that train beat in the middle. Yeah.
Second half, train beat.
This next tune is called Lazy Drag Jig, and it's actually in two parts. And I think that's all I got to say about it. Helen, you have anything to say about this? Hey, how about it again for Helen Gillet on the cello, y'all?
Thank you so much. The only thing I really want to say is that Jeff and I made a very homemade music video to this, which is on the. It's really beautiful. I love what happened. You were like, just go film some things in New Orleans. I'll film some stuff. You know, Jeff moves really fast, so like in 2 days he's like, do you have any more? And I just kept like filming everything I could. I went rollerblading at City Park and filmed while it's a miracle I didn't fall. And
I would have used it.
yeah, I know he would have used it. I actually did fall once, but it was okay. It was a soft fall. And then we trained videos. We just had a good time. So you guys should check out the music video. That's the only thing I wanted to say is that I really am proud of the incredibly fast pace at which we created that together. It's such a pleasure to work with Jeff Coffin. I'm going to, one of the reasons Tim Green's name has come up here is that I wouldn't have met Jeff Coffin if it wasn't for Tim Green. And I was playing, that's good. It's good to remember him in so many different ways. We all have great Tim Green stories, which I hope you're sharing with each other tonight. I played with him a lot. I met Tim Green through James Singleton here, and James took me under his wing when he was looking for a cellist to fill out a string quartet when I first moved to New Orleans, and I was really learning how to improvise, and he taught me a lot. So thanks, James. And James and I are going to kick this one off together.
Second part.
Yeah, I'll meet you there. This has gotten louder and louder. Hey, can you turn me down in the monitor? Thank you.
This can only mean one thing. Toni Degradi.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to usurp the microphone because this is the first time since the world ended that Toni has actually played in a live space with people. So give a hell yeah for Toni Degradi, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. And hey, before this all keeps going, I just want to remind you all there's a bunch of beautiful CDs that are signed by Jeff and Helen over there. There's other CDs, and there's also some beautiful photographs of Tim Green on the occasion of the first Tim Green Day that are signed by a lot of marvelous musicians, and proceeds from that, and they're a bargain. They're whatever you can contribute, basically. Please buy a photograph with signatures to contribute to the Tim Memorial. They're over there, and some spectacular sketches of Kid Jordan made by Larry Blumenfeld that are so cool. If you know Kid Jordan, and I bet you all do, you got to see these sketches that are printed over there that Larry Blumenfeld made. They're awesome. Please see the merch tent when the gig's over. Thank you, Jeff, Toni, Helen, James, and Johnny V. Keep going. All right.
Yeah. Toni, Helen, me, and then James. So we're going to kind of come up and leave and come back, and so it's going to be chaos, basically. So this first tune is called Green Light for Billy Drews. And if you want to know why, just ask me later. One, two, All right, Toni Degradi. Can I say holy shit out here? Because I just did. Holy shit, Toni Degradi. James Singleton over here on the bass. Helen Gillet has disappeared into the ether. So this next tune we're going to break it down to just me and Johnny on this. And this is a tune called Milford. And this is dedicated to the late, great Milford Graves, who was an incredible, incredible percussionist. And so this is going to feature Johnny on this one. I'm going to play the melody and then get the hell out of the way.
Ready, set, go?
Mm-hmm.
Ready, set,
Give it up for Johnny V. Let's bring James Singleton back up here. We're going to slow it down a little. We're going to play a tune called Sweet Magnolias. I think you know what I'm talking about. Okay.
All right, baby, kick it.
Yeah. Let's bring Toni Degradi back up here. James, you can go get a water if you'd like. Or climb a tree. You can go climb a tree if you want, actually. Yeah, probably a good idea not to tempt him. Yeah, once again, Toni Degradi on the saxophone. This one's called Half a Baton. We were talking about computers, and somebody made the comment about semiconductors, and then we were thinking about like conductors that like weren't very good, and then we were like, oh well, what if like rather than a full baton, they had half a baton, so it was kind of this play on words that ended up being the title of this tune. So strange things happen in the studio, but this is called Half a Baton. Johnny. Here we go. Gonk, king, gang, kapak, kick, just wide open. Okay. Here we go. Gonk, king, gang, kapak, kick, We just got a couple more for you, everybody. How about again, Toni Degradi on the saxophone, Johnny Vidacovich back here on the drums. Let's bring up James Singleton on this one. So this tune, a few years back, I had the amazing opportunity to purchase a couple of instruments. After the great Yusef Lateef passed, a friend of mine was dealing with his estate and asked if I was interested in purchasing some of his instruments. So I said immediately yes, and I ended up getting his main tenor and his bass flute, and incredible instruments and incredible legacy to be able to hold on to. I always describe them as Yusef's instruments, still to this day. And so when of course I had to play the tenor immediately, and this tune was literally the first thing I played out of the instrument. And so I always tell people that Yusef left a tune in the horn for me. So this one's entitled Yusef, and we hope you like it. thanks so much, everybody. Once again, the great Johnny Vidacovich back here on the drums. Toni Degradi on the saxophone. James Singleton back here on the bass. And once again, my partner in crime, I couldn't have done this without her. Miss Helen Gillet over there on the cello. My name is Jeff Coffin. Thank you so much. We hope you'll pick up some CDs that are signed. Again, half the proceeds go to the radio station for the blind. Yep. And what are the call numbers again? WRBH 88.3 on your FM dial. And that's a brand new tune that I wrote for this. And this one's entitled Luminosity. And once again, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for the broadside for doing these amazing things. Thanks to our sound folks and our camera people and everybody behind the scenes. We appreciate you so much. And skatterjazz, Andy of skatterjazz, and Keith and everybody. Thank you so much. This is Luminosity.
Y'all give it up for Jeff Coffin. Gracing our town. Gracing our town.
So it'll be me and Toni on the first solo, and then we'll cue it in, and then we'll go to you, and then out.
Hey, you're right.
So me and Toni, and then you.
Oh, got it.
Yep.
Oh, shit. Yeah, great. Follow y'all. Make it happen.
Here we go. I think I got 8.
Yep.
Yeah, I sure do. 1, 2, I got 8.
Ah!
Thank you so much, everybody. Once again, Helen Gillet, Johnny Vidacovich, Jeff Coffin, James Singleton, Toni Degradi, thank you so much for indulging us.
Jeff Coffin.
Thank you and good night.
Jeff Coffin.
Helen
Thank you
Gillet.
so much.
Thanks, y'all.
Y'all go home with one of those CDs now. Martin Cruz will sell